It's gonna be good.
Burning tires in a stolen car. I fucked up so bad outside the bar. Heading out as far away I can. Heart is pounding, got so damn out of hand. Doing 90 through the city night. Nothing's ever gonna be alright. Life will never be what it was. Hands are shaking, 'cause now my future is crashing down on me. They try to kill me when I fought back. I cracked the stars with a baseball bat. But justice will never make this right. I need to run and stay out of sight. Had no choice, it was me or them. Now for a lifetime I'm condemned. I have to forget my old set way of life. I'll go to prison or die by the night. I hear the sirens, they are closing in. Turn to fast car starts to spin. Screaming tires, time is running short. I go on foot as my last resort. Running harder, faster than before. Until my legs and feet are sore. Life will never be what it was. My mind is shaking, 'cause now my future's crashing down on me. They tried to kill me when I fought back. I cracked the scars with a baseball bat. But justice will never make this right. I need to run and stay out of sight. Had no choice, it was me or them. Now for a lifetime I'm condemned. I have to forget my old set way of life. I'll go to prison or die by the night. They tried to kill me when I fought back. I cracked the scars with a baseball bat. But justice will never make this right. I need to run and stay out of sight. Had no choice, it was me or them. Now for a lifetime I'm condemned. I have to forget my old set way of life. I'll go to prison or die by the night. They tried to kill me when I fought back. I cracked the scars with a baseball bat. But justice will never make this right. I need to run and stay out of sight. Had no choice, it was me or them. Now for a lifetime I'm condemned. I have to forget my old set way of life. I'll go to prison or die by the night.
What's up, Vault Hunters? It's Echo here, Queen of the Loot Goblins, bringing you another Borderlands 3 video. In today's video, I'm extremely excited to bring you my updated Bomber Moze build, level 60 post-patch. If you are not familiar with Bomber Moze, this build focuses on the Minesweeper class mod. Since my last Bomber Moze video, some of the skills are doing quite a bit more damage, and I will highlight these skills and we'll talk about them when we get into the skill tree. This build absolutely packs a punch without giving up any survivability. Just a heads up, I am not going to get heavily into the ins and outs of the Minesweeper, as I have recently come out with a Minesweeper explained video. I'll show it at the top of the screen now and at the end of the video, where you can click on it and learn more about the Minesweeper. I highly recommend watching that before proceeding into this video or using the Minesweeper class mod, because it may have answers to questions that you have regarding this comm. Alright, with all that said, let's get right into the skills. As you can see from our updated skill tree from level 57 to level 60, not much has changed. We did rearrange the Demolition Woman tree a little bit to get more points into Fire in the Skag Den, which we will go over shortly. Let's start with the Shield of Retribution tree. Armored Infantry and Drowning in Brass gives Moze increased gun damage, and the main reasons I go into this skill tree. The more damage the better, in my opinion. You'll notice that I've only put 4 points into Armored Infantry. This is because we used the 1 point and put it into Security Bear. Now, for those of you who haven't seen my past videos, Security Bear creates a bubble around Iron Bear and Auto Bear. This bubble applies to you as well if you stand inside it, and it's very well worth 1 point for the damage reduction. Our last skill in this tree goes to Experimental Mutations. This 1 point gives us 15% bonus instant damage when you score a critical hit. This can rack up in the damage when fighting bosses like Grave Ward or Ruiner. Since we are using the Minesweeper, we are constantly proccing critical hits, so this is a great skill to have with this build. Next up is our Bottomless Mags tree. We are staying the same from 57 to 60 on this tree as well, with skills like Redistribution and Russian Offensive really help with our survivability. And again, Redistribution and Some for the Road give us enough ammo regen that the capstone is not needed. Another skill to highlight is Scorching RPMs. This is going to help out tremendously with our Minesweeper comp, as we want max fire rate and bonus critical hit damage. This is giving us a bonus critical hit damage of 20%. And lastly, the Demolition Woman tree. The first skill that I'd like to highlight on this skill tree is Fire in the Skag Den. Now, hardcore Moze mains may know this already, but this skill scales with Mayhem level. So maxing this out gives us about 465 bonus incendiary damage. It's just broken right now, and this is why we've maxed it out. Now, I'd expect a fix for this, but I'm really cool with Moze being able to hit the damage cap. So if it gets fixed, okay. If not, at least I have it out there that you guys know that this skill is doing an insane amount of damage right now. The next skill that I'd like to highlight is Pull the Holy Pin. This absolutely requires 3 points into it. We are using the Minesweeper comp, and this skill gives us more chance to proc our Minesweeper micro grenades and hitting critical hits. This skill is also good for the micro grenades that drop from the Minesweeper, because it says that Moze's grenades have a chance to score a critical hit, and that's applying to our micro grenade as well as the grenades that we throw. The last skill that I want to highlight is our capstone Short Fuse. Short Fuse, like Fire in the Skag Den, is also receiving Mayhem scaling. So because Short Fuse is getting Mayhem scaling, it's actually giving us 525% gun damage per proc with Short Fuse. Another point to bring to your attention from Short Fuse is that it double dips just like the Minesweeper. If you've seen my Minesweeper Explained video, you'll know about all the double dipping. But for those of you who haven't watched my Minesweeper Explained video, what I mean by double dipping is, like, take splash damage for instance. It applies once to your gun damage formula and then again to your micro grenade or Short Fuse. In this case, Short Fuse is also a predetermined skill. This has been broken down in binary coding. The one thing that you need to worry about when proccing Short Fuse is that when you're going for a big kill, you want to hit your first shot. That will guarantee a proc from Short Fuse, giving you that big damage. For my action skills and my action skill augment, I'm a big fan of Vanquisher rocket pods. I usually keep that equipped at all times. You can also use the minigun if you'd like, but me personally, I like to use the Vanquisher rocket pods. Be sure to equip both Vanquisher rocket pods on the top slot because we are taking advantage of Specialist Bear, which equipping 2 of the same weapons on Iron Bear increase the damage that they deal. So make sure that top slot is both the same, whether you use the minigun or use the Vanquisher rocket pods. Now, if I'm basically just going to set Auto Bear to do all the kills for me, I'm just jumping in Iron Bear to get to safety and jumping out, I do equip Hammer Down Protocol and also target softening. This is going to give you a debuff on your enemies with target softening, and with Hammer Down Protocol you are getting a radiation dot, which is going to help you with Harmageddon, giving you an extra dot damage, giving you an extra percentage of damage dealt. When I get on Moze, these are the skills that I like to use. This is my build and I absolutely love it, and I hope you enjoy it too. Now let's go check out some gear. So for the gear that I like to use, my 4 best in slot are going to have to be the Ion Cannon. The Ion Cannon's doing so much damage right now. The anointments that I recommend, pretty much on every weapon, you can get away with the 300/90 anointment with this build. She's putting out so much damage that you're hitting that first shot and doing an exponential amount of damage. So you can really get away with the 390. Next, I use the beacon sometimes, again 390. I use the light show. If you don't have 390, honestly, consecutive hits, splash damage, they're all going to be really good for this build. Next, for mobbing, the flipper is my go-to weapon right now. I use the flipper on everything. I can go through 100% of the Mallow on takedown with just the flipper in hand. As far as bossing, I usually like to take the ion cannon just to get that one shot from the short fuse proc. But if you're going for, I would say, like a nade kill and a minesweeper proc, I would take like an eruption and chuck your nades. Or you can use the monarch. The monarch is fantastic for proccing minesweeper nades. It's not going to be so great on proccing short fuse, but again, if you're going for that crit chain, the monarch is still really, really great on Moze. Also, if you're really looking to proc minesweeper grenades with a gun, the Sandhawk is absolutely wonderful in doing that. I can proc so many minesweeper grenades just with the Sandhawk. It has such a high fire rate and it does a lot of damage. So if you're looking for a crit chain, try out the Sandhawk. For my shield, I found this recharger with double turtle. The anointment is after exiting Iron Bear, gains 75% increased shields and health for 25 seconds. I used to go with the bonus element for my shield just to get a little bit more damage, and that's perfectly fine if you have a shield with a bonus element on it. I personally decided to go with utility because Moze is dealing so much damage right now. I didn't feel like I needed that overkill extra bonus element. Like I said, you can go with a bonus element for anointment for your shield. Also, you can use a stopgap. An old god works great. Transformer works great. I just personally liked the recharger because I found this great shield with double turtle and a recharger, and it just helps so much with survivability. Now, moving on to my nade, I am using the cloning maddening tracker on Grenade Throne. To find this nade, you can farm vending machines. Try to get as close to the cloning maddening tracker as you can, and you're going to want on Grenade Throne because that's put into Moze's V2 category of her damage formula. If you can't find a cloning maddening tracker, just try to get as close as you can to it, like with homing, bouncy, Merv, divider, just a couple of those stats. For my artifact, I'm using a Snowdrift Victory Rush with grenade damage, area of effect damage, and mag size. That to me is god roll. When I found this, I was super, super happy because this is absolutely god roll for the Minesweeper. And for our comm, we are using the Minesweeper. Landing a critical hit has a 25% chance to drop a micro grenade that explodes after a short time. Now, basically, the guns that you want to use are fast rate of fire and make sure you hit your critical hits. This will spawn tons of little micro grenades, making the damage into the millions, if not hitting the damage cap right now. The passives that you want on your Minesweeper are splash damage and grenade damage. That is going to absolutely buff up your Minesweeper micro grenade. And lastly, for modifiers, because I get so many questions on what modifiers I use, this is basically my perfect modifier: Speed Demon, Healy Avenger, Chain Gang, and Buddy System. If you want to change out Speed Demon for OK Boomer, which gives you grenade damage, that's perfectly fine. Or you can even use Galaxy Brain to help you hit your critical hits. I would kind of stay away from Holy Crit because the micro grenade is going to drop and is going to do damage, and that's going to be at a decrease if it doesn't hit a critical hit. So I always try to kind of stay away from Holy Crit unless I'm absolutely fighting an enemy that I know I want to crit chain on, like Grave Ward. I know I'm hitting that crit and it will absolutely 100% hit a critical hit. That's what I'm going for, a one shot. Other than that, I would say stick to Buddy System because your cloning maddening tracker will home in on the Buddy System and you won't even need to worry about shooting the Buddy Systems. Plus, if you go down, it's a good way of getting a second wind. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoy the build. I know I do. This build absolutely rocks. Whether I'm mobbing, bossing, doing takedowns, anything, it literally gets the job done. I absolutely love playing it. Let me know in the comments below if you like it too. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content. And I'm going to leave you with this Wotan kill. And as always, happy looting.
Hands are shaking, 'cause now my
Please take a moment right now and hit that like button. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you want to catch these videos live, you can find me at twitch.tv/jadedecho_ or subscribe to my YouTube channel and be up to date with each video.